मैंने कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ मैं इस चीज को अभी
Okay.
हाँ।
Okay. So now it's okay. So Kautuk, please tell me about your future aspirations.
Sir, I want to do some people-centric work since I have been working for, I worked for a tech consultancy firm as a senior software engineer, and my reason to quit it and start for the civil service preparation was I was very much sure that I had to do some people-centric work, and particularly in development sector. So yes, my aspiration is to do something for people, which in a way helps my nation and to address the critical issues of the nation.
Okay. Sorry about disturbance. And
No issue.
so basically, when you tell me about that you are want to do something people-centric job, so there are wide and multiple options.
Yes, sir.
There are numerous other avenues which can be available for you to do
Yes, sir.
something like that.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to know why don't you choose any of other stream or other field rather than just going for urban governance and policy?
Okay. Sir, there were three priorities when I was quitting my job. There were three priorities I had made, and this has particularly been coming from an incident which I faced while working in the company. Actually, a girl was murdered just outside our company in 2016 while I was working in MIDC Pune in Capgemini, India. So a girl was murdered, and post which I saw that the district administration, the HR particulars, HR officers, and the civil service organizations and the NGOs were involved in the process of keeping employees and the surroundings safe and healthy and informed and aware. So this is what pushed me to to search for a work in all these three fields particularly, which should be people friendly, people centric, and development oriented, and in the nation building process. So the three criteria for me, the three particular priorities for me lies in these same areas. So first I decided for preparing for civil services, but after giving sufficient amount of time in it, I was able to realize that the social inquisitiveness and the awareness and about holistic understanding about the society has invoked in me an understanding to work for the development sector, and this is why I had chosen the clear priorities as HR, development studies, and the urban.
Okay, Kautuk,
So yes, sir.
what will happen if you'll not get selected here? Like HR and WM study, you don't have any call there.
Yes, sir.
So what will you do if you'll not get selected
Yes,
for
sir.
urban policy program also?
Sir, I have thought of applying for TERI School of Advanced Study Urban Development Management. It's the MTech program which is being conducted by the TERI Institute there in Delhi. And apart from that, I had also mentioned in the detailed application form that I have a vision of starting social lab, which works with the administration and which empowers the administration. So I would start my work with it. And as I know that the teachers and the fraternity of the students and the academicians of the TIS are very helpful in giving and gauging the ideas of the new and budding entrepreneurs, be it from TIS or any other institute. So if I do not get admission in this, I would surely be able to connect to the professor and the students and can get the help from outside. And meanwhile, I would prepare for it again and would give the exam.
Okay, so when we talk about urban policy,
Yes, sir.
so what are the different agenda urban policy has, which is not being solved by national policies and other policies which we do for the entire nation? So is there any specific need that it has to offer, or it has to serve?
Sir, every time a policy comes, the technology and the society takes a leap ahead of it. So in a way, the policies are not that abreast of the social, judicial, technological, and economical underpinnings of the society. So this, I believe, is the way where the policy lacks bringing in the implementational level in the society as well as in the urban areas. In particular sense, where I see policy lacking is the removal of socio-spatial hesitation between the members of the society and the three factors, which are the convergence, improvement, and transformation, and the rural periphery around the urban areas, which are forcing or inviting the migrants from the rural areas to the urban areas, are bringing in such social disparity. So my agenda or my way of solving a policy or an urban policy in a way would be to remove this social inequality and economical disparities.
No, the question was like we do try to solve these issues by national level policies also.
Yes, sir.
So we also do to solve these issues by different environment related or industry related or human development related, education related policies also.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about urban policies, so what extra or what other things that we have to do then we don't do it by national level policies? So like there is a stream which is which gives you a specialization in urban policy and governance, which you try or you want to pursue. So what do you think? What extra that we offer or what extra we need to think in terms of urban policy?
So we need to improve the already existing technologies. Plus, we need to bring in more infrastructure. Also, along with the data analytics, the observation-led strategies need to be brought in for the area-specific problems. The policies are made such that it is equal for all, but one size does not fits all. So locations-based location-specific policies also needs to be made. Plus, too many power centers have created a ruckus in the administration, and it is detrimental to the governance. So, in order to maintain the governance, the urban policy professionals needs to be brought in who understands the intricacies of the policies, who understand the urban metabolism, and this way they can help administration in bringing the seamless working of the urban areas.
Sorry, Kautuk, I was mute and I was asking question to you. So can you give me a brief about urban governance structure in India?
Yes, sir. So the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 brought in the urban local governance, and the local governance, which we mean that the doorstep governance, which empowers the citizen to connect with the government. And why was it done? It was done to remove the psychological and social barriers and to decentralize the government so that the state can delegate its work and development related things to the citizens. In a city specific area, in a district, there are both rural and urban areas where at the top there lies a municipal, where in the urban areas, bifurcating, there lies the civil administration. Then it has the corporators. The urban area is just divided into wards, and each ward has the corporator, which is the elected representative. They might elect, or the people might elect directly the mayor, which is the executive part, which is the political as well as the executive part, and sits at the top of the municipal corporation. There is also a municipal officer which handles the political, which connects between the political and the executive part of the municipal corporation. Then then in the district there are rural areas. In rural areas, at top of it there is Zilla Parishad, At the block level, that's Panchayat Samiti, and the third level, the third tier structure is the Gram Panchayat. So this way, the whole triangle is being divided. And on top of it, there is a district planning committee, which involves the members of the Zilla Parishad as well as the municipal corporation.
So, okay, Kautuk asked if I'll ask about the smart city projects that
Yes, sir.
the pet project of the current government that
Mhm.
started in 2014 only.
Sir, may I drink water for a second?
Yeah, yeah, you can. So can you explain or can you give me the updates about that? So, what are the phases or what are the goals that they had to achieve, and what is the current status of that smart city project?
The Smart City project is a flagship program of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It has three components to it. Firstly, it requires the city to make the plan and propose it to state, and then the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs decides the list of 100 such cities. Basic aim of smart city is to bring smart infrastructure in terms of physical, economical, and civic, where through retrofitting the major of the areas, redevelopment of the small areas, and bringing in the greenfield projects is the main aim. Also, to maintain the ethos of the city, but and it has to be done through a special purpose vehicle, wherein a company has to be registered under the Companies Act, and it will have all the CEOs, board of directors kind of a scheme, which will work privately, which will and the fund needs to be provided with by the center, 100 crores per city, and this needs to be worked in tandem with the district administration in order to improve the governance and the infrastructure of the city while maintaining its ethos and culture. So the basic idea of the city is that every citizen of the city should feel developed. And this way, the smart city plan has to be made. Now, giving you an example of my city, as you have asked the current state of the smart city programs, there, due to some political and economical biases, the cities were divided, and we can see it happening on ground that several places have been developed while the major of the area has been left as it is. Now, what is the problem here? Too many power centers. Too many power centers between the district administration, municipal corporation, and the smart city, which is the special purpose vehicle, are making this city development haphazard as to who would collect the tax, who would govern, who would make. Things are not clear. Political willingness, because in my city there are local elections due. So, in order to complete the projects which were decided way back in 2015, the hazardness of completion of the projects is making the projects unsustainable. Plus, the main content of the smart city was the main point where every citizen should feel some level of development in his or her area. This has not been covered because I can see the urban slums and several ghettos and the areas which are not at all developed. So this is a biased development in a city. Plus, only 100 cities are there. What about the other cities in India and the areas around the periphery of the cities? I know that there are several other programs like Urban Mission, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Urban Missions, and Amrit City, which is for urban transformation. But then also, out of 4,041 statutory towns, there remains 3,800 towns after allotting 100 and 300 city allotment to Amrit and Smart City, respectively.
Okay, so Kautuk, if I'll ask you, so you know the challenges, you know the current practices of government that they are doing through Smart City and Amrit project.
Yes, sir.
So these are the initiatives from the government. Can you tell me what other organizations can be very helpful in better planning of our urban areas or development of our urban areas other than government?
Okay. So there are several other organizations which I think of at the current time, which is the institutions. Institutions as Tata Institute of Social Sciences, bringing social audits in districts, showing the current state of development to the district administration uh, in order to reflect the current state. Then there are NGOs coming forward. The role of the NGOs is which is non-governmental and which is able to make sense of development in मतलब डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के साथ में जो डेवलपमेंट ला सकें सोसाइटी में, दैट इज एन एनजीओ. द प्रेशर ग्रुप्स लाइक मीडिया, pressure groups like social media, pressure groups like student fraternity, pressure groups like resident welfare associations. These are all the stakeholders and the other institutions that I can think of currently, which can work in an urban area uh, to help develop the urban amenities.
Okay, so what is your opinion about billboards that is being spread in the cities, like small towns and all the even metropolitan cities? Every household and every house can use and can have a billboard over it. So if you go to any city, you find numerous billboards or posters has been pasted on the walls of the cities. So what's your opinion about it?
Sir, firstly, I could not understand the context in which you are asking the billboard.
So,
I am relating it to the advertisement board. Is it correct?
advertisement board or posters that we pasted on the walls of either by the company or political party or anyone. You know.
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
what's your opinion about it? Matlab, like you can talk about aesthetic of the city, or you can talk about
Yes, sir.
cleanliness of the city, or you can talk
Yes,
about
sir.
talk it in any perspective.
Yes, sir. So, the billboards and the advertisement boards, and so to say, to increase the aesthetics, there has been a project under the smart cities to paint the areas, showing the own culture, showing the city's own culture, in the sense that the citizens feel and the outsiders also feel proud about the city and they can relate to the culture of the city, which is good. But I also see political banners and the advertisements. Advertisement is good, but uh, the advertisement is good because through it the taxes come, and this would reduce the gap of the tax and the service delivery between the municipal corporation, but provided that they have the requisite infrastructure to collect the tax and there is no muscle power being used in the political advertisement. Sometimes I see that political advertisement also digresses one from the issue and try to create a mass opinion to the society, in the sense that I have seen that the measure of the political parties who are very well funded and world's largest political party in our local assembly elections, state legislative assembly elections, and the local municipal elections also, they try to hijack the municipal corporation in a way that all the advertisement boards are covered with their uh, political party posters. So this way, a mass opinion is being created, which also deflects the personal opinion of a humble citizen living in a city, or a urban dweller or a rural dweller coming to the city, about the party and its works. So it can also make the changes and it can also break the political line, in my opinion. So this needs to be regulated, and municipal corporation and district administration, which needs to be work very efficiently in this. Like I have seen in Delhi that they give particular time for the advertisements, and after that they have a very robust mechanism of the labor, which goes and removes the advertisements after a particular allotted time.
Okay. Talking about cities growth or especially in India. So can you give me a brief history or historical account that how cities has growth and changed in Indian matlab,
Indian context.
Indian context.
Sir, as the history says that
So
Indian.
you can take this question as an extempore question also. You can think for a minute, for few seconds, and then can you start?
Okay, sir.
You can note down if
Yes, sir.
if you have some flow or if you want to create some flow for it.
Yes. So can I start?
Yes, yes, you can.
So in the historical area, in historical era, when we see that the agricultural sustenance economy was prevalent, so the rural setup was very much prevalent in India and the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent, which also saw the subsequent development of Indus Valley civilization as we see 2300 in the 2300 AD. After that, coming to the pre-independence area, at that point in time in history, uh, along with the Indus Valley civilization and the agricultural economy was there, and both were simultaneously developing without hindering with each other. So at that point in time, urban area was considered to be the area which was politically more active, in the sense that the several rural areas would get connected under a political dynasty, and the development would start according to the dynasty. So this way the urban areas were treated. Now coming to the pre-independence era in pre-1947, the Britishers had the languishing agricultural policies which were very, very detrimental to the rural areas, which were to mine the resources of the rural areas and uh, to have the urban agglomeration, in the sense to promote the industrial revolution which was being started at that point in time in the British and Britain. So this particular era brought stark divide between the urban and rural areas, and from here, cultural, economical, political, technical, and legal aspects of both urban and rural areas started to divide more and more and more. After it, the post-independence era, some of our leaders tried to bridge the gap between the urban and rural areas and the cities, where the rural development program was started and the urban was given less focus, because at that point in time the leaders had a vision to promote and prevent and develop the rural areas the most. After the LPG, the liberalization, privatization, and globalization in 1991, and it happened globally. That coming from 1991 to 2005, the global vision for urban areas and the cities expanded, and they tried to focus more on it, because as the World Bank report says that the urban areas are the 3% of the world area. The cities are the 3% of the world areas, which contributes to 60% of the GDP, and which has the 50% of the population. So this way, the whole focus of the government, of international organizations, national organizations, and the country shifted to the cities. Why city is important? Because city nowadays has been a center for the labor skills, for market. It is it is for the it is the convergence of the manpower, the aspirations, and the desires in order to improve the lifestyle, and in a way transforming the industry from agro to manufacturing. There are several push and pull factors also, which are in the rural and urban areas, and the government is working
Okay,
for it.
okay, Karthik. Okay, fine. So last question for you. Can you tell me what are the advantages of technology, or what advantage we can get from information technology? So you will be talking about both information technology and in general technology in order to have good governance in city or development of cities.
Okay. So, sir, technology has bridged the gap between the vulnerables, the marginalized, and other people.
So first we'll be talking about technology, then information technology. Okay. So
Okay.
so talk about normal technologies
Okay.
other than information.
Technology is anything which makes your works very easy, very fast. Technology has been uh, evolving from the time of man, when he used to use when he used the bone tools, then the stone tools, then the iron tools, then plastic tools, then food processor. This way the technology has evolved while making the work of man and governance easy. Technology also improves the governance of the area. Technology helps minimizing the social disparities in order, like we have seen, Facebook and social media have made us all come on a single platform where there is no caste and creed and no such discrimination unless being instilled by the fringe elements. In the economical area, technology has brought in very much economic has been trying to bring in the economic equality, wherein the industrial revolutions have come, that makes the productivity go higher and higher, and with a minimum amount of input. The aim is to attain the maximum output. In the political areas, where we see the technology has brought the political leader in the home of the citizen, or the man, who can communicate his grievance directly to the political leader. In legal sense also, technology has been evolving, but I think that in legal sector it needs to more work needs to be done in the legal sector, where 35 million of the cases are pending, and it is just the time that Supreme Court has decided to bring in the uh, bring the what do we say, कोर्ट की प्रोसीडिंग को लाइव लाना और ऑनलाइन रखना अभी डिसाइड किया है. बट दिस हैड ये बहुत पहले हो जाना चाहिए था, बट समय को देखते हुए टेक्नोलॉजी वहां पे भी हमें साथ में ला रही है. बट देयर आर सेवरल हिंड्रेंसेस टू इट, and it needs to be minimized. Yes. So this is what I have to say about technology. Plus the information technology, the computer has the IT has brought the revolution which no other technology has brought in Indian area, or for that matter in world. IT has evolved man so much that he can connect, वो यहाँ पे बैठे बैठे देश के दूसरे कोने से भी कनेक्ट कर सकता है. इतनी पावर इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी ने आज के दिन में दी है.
ओके कार्तिक, थैंक यू. तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन ही तुम लग रहा है बहुत ज्यादा सोचकर जवाब नहीं दिए.
यस सर.
टेक्नोलॉजी में यू कुड हैव गिवन एग्जांपल
बहुत
ऑफ,
बोल सकता था मैं.
हाँ वो कुछ एग्जांपल्स देते तो ज्यादा बेटर होता.
हाँ.
जैसे जैसे हम लोग क्लीनिंग के लिए या फिर जैसे इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी तो यूज करना नहीं है, तो मतलब जैसे वेब कैम वगैरह जो हम करते हैं वो सेकंड वाले के लिए बताते
वो
हैं,
आईटी में
या
आ
फिर
जाता है।
हाँ आईटी वाले में आ जाता है। ऐसे हम जैसे वो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के लिए जो जो हम कई बार जो वैसा होता है ना कि जैसे मेट्रोज वगैरह डेवलप किया हमने, है ना, अंडरग्राउंड, सो ट्रैफिक वगैरह इजी कर सकते हैं हम, फ्लाईओवर्स बना सकते हैं, है ना। तो वहां पे तुम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट में और ट्रांसपोर्ट वगैरह में हम देख सकते हैं डिफरेंट डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट हम यूज कर सकते हैं विद द यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, ठीक है।
हम्म,
और इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए तो सिक्योरिटी, है ना, उसमें या फिर गवर्नेंस इशूज में या फिर पीपल इन्वॉल्वमेंट में या मेकिंग डेमोक्रेटिक
हम्म,
गवर्नेंस, इसमें हम यूज कर सकते हैं। तो ऐसे करके तुम थोड़ा ज्यादा डिफाइन कर सकते थे, ठीक है।
दूसरा।
बाकी सब तो पार्ट ठीक है। अब तुमको हम वीडियो फिर अपलोड कर देंगे तुम्हारा, अनलिस्ट करके दे देंगे तुम्हें, तुम उस पर थोड़ा सेल्फ क्रिटिक कर लेना, क्योंकि समहाउ हाँ, जो स्टोरी जो एक्सटेम्पोर वाला भी पार्ट जो था वो भी मुझे लगा कि दैट वाज नॉट वेरी वेल थॉट ऑफ। मैंने इवोल्यूशन ऑफ सिटीज बोला था, यू कुड हैव स्टार्टेड विथ हड़प्पन, कि पहले हम लोग प्लांट बनाते थे बट लेटर व्हेन वो फिर ऐसा हुआ कि जो जो राजा की जो वो होती थी ना, कैपिटल होती थी, वहां पे सिटी डेवलप होना शुरू किया। और फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेज में जब ये आए क्या बोलते हैं, अंग्रेज आए, तो उन्होंने जहां जहां पे इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट या पोर्ट्स था वो सिटीज बने, है ना। इन बिटवीन जो रिलीजियस सेंटर्स थे हिस्टोरिकल, वहां पे सिटीज डेवलप हुए। तो तुम एग्जांपल आउट कर वो कर सकते हो, जैसे बनारस, अयोध्या, ये सब जो अर्बन एरिया का डेवलप हुआ उस वजह से हुआ था। चेन्नई और मेनी अदर सिटीज हैज बीन क्रिएटेड बाय वो फॉरेनर्स लाइक यूके और
इंडस्ट्रियल
हाँ।
टाउनशिप जो
हाँ
इंडस्ट्रीज
इंडस्ट्रियल टाउनशिप जो है वो
के।
कलकत्ता वगैरह का है, और भी कई सारे तो। और इस तरह से, और प्लांट सिटी जो डेवलप्ड इंडिया में है, हमने दो चार ही बनाए हैं, जैसे चंडीगढ़ और मोहाली और बोकारो ऐसे बनाए हैं, ठीक है। तो या यूनिवर्सिटी टाउन हमारे यहाँ इतना कल्चर में नहीं है कि वी वी नेवर हैड यूनिवर्सिटी टाउन कंसेप्ट, तो ये इवोल्यूशन में तुम डाल सकते थे, ठीक है। और फिर बाकी जो शहर का अर्बन एरिया का डेवलपमेंट हुआ वो बेसिकली मार्केट बेस्ड थे, जहाँ पे पहले मतलब कई गांवों का मार्केट एक जगह होता था, एंड दैट ऑल ऑफ सडन दैट स्टार्टेड स्प्रेडिंग और बिकम द अर्बन एरिया इन ड्यू टाइम। तो इसको थोड़ा सा और इस तरह से हाँ कर सकते थे। बाकी सब तो ठीक था, है ना। फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द इंटरव्यू वाज वेरी मच ओके। जो तुम्हारा स्मार्ट सिटी की एनालिसिस थी या फिर कैरियर के लेकर जो तुम्हारा सब्जेक्ट चॉइस वगैरह का क्वेश्चन था, वो सब बढ़िया था, ठीक है।
सर करियर में ठीक से डिफेंड कर पा रहा हूँ
हाँ
या
हाँ वो तो ठीक है, मतलब देखो डिफेंड करना नहीं होता है, बेसिकली यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डू यू थिंक,